North Korea Unjong High-tech Development Zone. 72. North Korea's Silicon Valley Zhongguancun, creating the miracle on the Taedong River. North Korean Workers' Party can do a market economy. The Unjong High-tech Development Zone in Pyongyang, North Korea, is the fastest path for the opening of the North Korean economy, capable of realizing the first profits within 1 to 2 years after denuclearization. By becoming an IT service hub, annual revenue of over $5 billion is possible. The Unjong High-tech Development Zone is located in Eunjong District, Pyongyang. Eunjong District is one of the 19 districts of Pyongyang and is located at the northernmost point of Pyongyang. It borders Pyeongseong City in South Pyongan Province to the north, Ryongseong District to the southwest, and Samseok District to the southeast. It is characterized by being separated from downtown Pyongyang and rather adjacent to Pyeongseong City. It was newly established in 1995 by merging parts of Deoksan-dong, Baisan-dong, Songnyeong-dong, and Jigyeong-dong of Pyeongseong City, South Pyongan Province, and was incorporated into Pyongyang City. This is a newly established area created by the North Korean government to implement its science and culture policy. Major facilities include the Academy of Social Sciences and the Academy of Natural Sciences, and the Science Museum, Pyongyang University of Science and Technology, and specialized science colleges have been built here. In addition to this, numerous science-related research institutions are located here, including the Academy of Sciences, the University of Science, the Institute of Mechanical Engineering, the Institute of Labor Safety Engineering, the Institute of Mathematics, the Institute of Automation, and the Institute of Geology. It was designated as a Central-Level Economic Development Zone around 2014 and was planned as a complex combining advanced science and technology research and development, R&D and production in information technology IT, biotechnology nanotechnology, new materials, electronics and semiconductors, and natural energy in conjunction with more than 30 research institutions under the State Academy of Sciences. As of 2008, the population was 47,569, the smallest among the 19 districts of Pyongyang. As of 2002, the administrative district consisted of 4 dongs: Gwahak 1 dong, Gwahak 2 dong, Gwangmyeong-dong, and Baesan-dong, and the district seat was Gwahak 1 dong. The Unjong High-tech Development Zone is not merely an IT special zone, but will become a key testing ground that determines the speed and direction of North Korea's regime transformation. It is the engine that will enable the North Korean economy to leap beyond a simple manufacturing nation into a knowledge economy nation. Unjong High-tech Development Zone. Unjong Science and Technology Development Zone is North Korea's only high-tech specialized economic development zone, located in the Unjong area on the northwestern outskirts of Pyongyang. The Unjong High-tech Development Zone is considered a representative example of the high-tech development zone model, promoted by North Korea during the Kim Jong-un era, but actual development progress has been significantly limited. The planned development area in the Eunjong district of Pyongyang is known to be approximately 730,000 pyong, about 2.4 square kilometers, and it has been designed as a science and technology complex combining research, development, and production functions. It aimed to link universities, research, and production by collaborating with research institutes under the State Academy of Sciences, State Science and Technology Committee, and being located adjacent to educational institutions such as Pyongyang University of Science and Technology and Science University. It is the North Korean version of Zhongguancun, or North Korean version of Pangyo envisioned by North Korea. The Unjong High-tech Development Zone is planned as a comprehensive high-tech cluster combining an IT industrial zone, a high-tech research and development zone, a production zone, and a service zone. It is equipped with a legal framework that allows for independent operation by foreign companies, joint ventures with North Korean institutions, and the export of technology and products. While research facilities and some experimental and production facilities are located here, there is almost no large-scale foreign investment or commercial production complexes. The focus is primarily on the development of North Korea's own technologies related to software, electronics, biotechnology, and energy, as well as research on dual-use military and civilian technologies. Even now, more than 10 years later, there has been no substantial foreign investment in the Unjong High-tech Development Zone. The level of development for physical infrastructure, such as sites, buildings, and communication networks, also remains in the early stages, while the relative stability of power supply and the relatively good state of communication infrastructure provided by its location in downtown Pyongyang are its strengths. The fundamental limitation of the complete blockage of the global internet makes the practical functioning of the IT special zone impossible. Foreign investment attraction performance remains poor due to international sanctions, particularly export controls on high-tech technologies, a shortage of foreign currency, and inadequate power and infrastructure. Even into the 2020s, there are almost no reports of specific foreign companies establishing a presence or large-scale projects being completed. Rather than being a purely private high-tech complex, it functions as a research and development hub, led by the National Academy of Sciences, and plays a role in disseminating some technological achievements to domestic industries. Overall, compared to other special economic zones such as Rason, Sinwiju, and Wonsan-Kumgangsan, this project has the slowest development speed and places more emphasis on self-reliance in advanced technology rather than attracting foreign investment. The actual capabilities of North Korea's IT workforce are assessed as abilities proven by paradox. North Korea selected and announced the Information Technology Research Institute of the Advanced Technology Development Institute at Kim Il-sung University, the Information Technology Research Institute of Kim-Chek University of Technology, Pyongyang Program Joint Development Company, Pyongyang Kwangmyong Information Technology Company, Informatization Research Institute, one of the Pyongyang Information Technology Bureau, Mangyongdae Trading Company, Buksai Electronic Trading Company, Blue Sky Trading Company, and Akim Computer Joint Venture Company. As the top 10 best information technology companies for 2024, the Information Technology Research Institute at Kim-Chek University of Technology is successively releasing development achievements, including the Operating System Security Management Program, which was named the Best Information Technology Product of 2024, and Pyongyang Kwangmyong Information Technology Company is developing and introducing automated teller machines, ATMs in the North Korean style, and is developing financial IT products, including integrated card payment programs and card operation systems. The Pyongyang Information Technology Bureau has set artificial intelligence as its top priority as a core technology of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, and officially declared the development of 4 strategic technologies: cloud computing and big data analysis, deep learning-based image recognition, such as facial recognition and license plate recognition, autonomous driving, and information security. Major products developed by the Pyongyang Information Technology Bureau include the Changdok Word Processor, Dangun Hangul Processor, Pyongpil Multilingual Document Editor, Samcheoli Electronic Map Program, and Ulam Network Switch, which demonstrate that software development capabilities have gone beyond simple coding to the level of system software. This is the actual level of technology proven by illegal overseas activities. Paradoxically, the reality of illegal overseas activities best demonstrates the actual capabilities of North Korean IT personnel. North Korean IT personnel are disguising their identities as foreigners and working as freelancers in the IT field, earning substantial incomes by securing contracts to develop computer software and mobile applications from companies in advanced nations across North America, Europe, and East Asia. We are active in various ways, ranging from the development of web and mobile-based applications in fields such as business, health, social media, sports, gaming, and lifestyle, to the development of decentralized applications, DApps, smart contracts, and digital tokens. North Korean IT personnel not only possess high software development capabilities, but some of them are also proficient in foreign languages, including English. In actual video interviews, there are instances where North Korean IT personnel remotely access the account agent's computer to demonstrate programming on their behalf. The very fact that these illegal activities passed the quality verification of Western IT companies paradoxically proves that they can have immediate competitiveness in the legitimate outsourcing market after denuclearization. North Korea's gifted education in the IT sector has been actively promoted since 1984 under the direction of Chairman Kim Jong-il, with the policy of building a powerful nation by fostering IT professionals at an early age. It is intensively cultivating talent through an education system that enables individuals to become quasi-doctors or doctors in their 20s. This gifted education system, which has been in operation for over 40 years, has shown particularly high performance in the fields of mathematics, algorithms, and systems programming, and this is supported by the top rankings achieved by North Korean students in the International Mathematical Olympiad IMO. Structural limitations facing North Korea are blocking investment. The global internet blockade is a fundamental obstacle. In North Korea, the internet refers to the internal intranet, the Pyongyang network, and internet connections with the outside world are strictly restricted. International internet access is known to utilize the backbone networks of China Telecom and Russia's TTK, and internet users account for only 0.6% of the total population. For IT special zones to engage in IT outsourcing, they must be able to freely access the global internet, but this is currently structurally impossible. The absolute gap in semiconductor technology is also a limit. Although North Korea has long pursued the localization of semiconductors and possesses the Pyongyang Integrated Circuit Factory, the Intersect Semiconductor Factory, and the Semiconductor Testing Research Institute of the State Academy of Sciences, semiconductors cannot be manufactured through research alone. Currently, most semiconductor devices are imported from foreign countries. While Samsung produced 512 kilobytes of memory, North Korea initially produced 64 kilobytes of semiconductor memory devices as an experiment, and this gap still spans several decades. If UN sanctions, particularly those related to high-tech, are eased or lifted due to denuclearization, and if North Korea fully implements China-style, gradual market economy reforms such as mixed ownership, expansion of private property, price liberalization, and strengthening of special zone laws, the Unjong High-tech Development Zone is expected to grow significantly as a key hub for North Korea's science and technology and high-tech industries. In the short term 1 to 3 years, based on existing research infrastructure, we will attract small-scale joint ventures, JVs with Chinese and Korean technology companies to begin software outsourcing, electronic component, assembly, and initial production related to bio and pharmaceuticals. In the 3 to 7 year intermediate period, we will fully launch university research enterprise linkage clusters to foster IT and software, semiconductor back-end processing, nano and new materials, and medical device and bio industries, and transition into high-value-added industries utilizing Pyongyang's talent pool. In the long term, it will develop into a North Korean version of Silicon Valley or Zhongguancun model, creating an upward value chain flow, namely, research, development, commercialization, export through technology, transfer and investment attraction from South Korea, China, and Russia. The success variables are the permission of international technology transfer, protection of intellectual property rights, liberalization of the internet and telecommunications, and the introduction of mechanisms for commercializing research results. This is one of the fields where the fastest results can be expected if the Chinese-style open model is applied. It is projected to become the white-collar outsourcing hub of Northeast Asia after denuclearization. If denuclearization and the lifting of sanctions are achieved, the Eunjong district will be transformed into the highest value-added knowledge service export zone in North Korea. IT and software investments will create software-as-a-service SaaS, AI algorithms, game development, and security solutions to attract R&D centers of Korean and global big tech companies and establish outsourcing bases. Investment in biotechnology will create a biocluster utilizing abundant natural product data and affordable research personnel through the development of natural product-based new drugs, functional foods, and seed improvement. Investments in new materials and nanotechnology will pave the way for the production and export of high-value-added materials by combining resources and technology, such as rare earth processing technology and carbon composite materials. EdTech content investment will produce digital content based on high-level basic skills in art and mathematics through animation outsourcing and educational platform production. If denuclearization progresses, neighboring countries will move competitively. We will pursue the establishment of an inter-Korean joint R&D center linked to Pyongyang Techno Valley for technological cooperation and division of labor with Korea. We aim for synergy by combining Korea's capital and global networks with North Korea's mathematics and basic science personnel. As part of its platform preemption strategy, China will propose investments in cloud servers and network equipment to major IT companies such as Huawei and Xiaomi. To dominate smart city and telecommunications infrastructure standards within North Korea, the U.S. and global companies such as Google and Microsoft may explore establishing remote development centers to secure high-quality North Korean IT development personnel at a relatively low cost. From North Korea's perspective, this serves as a means to counter China through Western capital. Let's take a look at the competitive landscape of participants by industrial investment category in the Unjong High-tech Development Zone following denuclearization. This is a software development and IT outsourcing business. Current participants, North Korean domestic IT companies, such as the Korea Computer Center and the Pyongyang Program Joint Development Company, are fulfilling internal demand and carrying out unofficial overseas subcontracting. There is no legitimate foreign investment. Post-denuclearization competitive entrants include South Korean companies Samsung SDS, SK Inc. CNC, LG CNS, Kakao Enterprise, and Naver Cloud Indian companies. Infosys and Wipro for indirect competition. Global AI companies, OpenAI, Google, and Metadata. Labeling demand and Japanese SI companies, Fujitsu and NTT Data. Competitive landscape Korean IT companies hold an absolute advantage in terms of language, culture, and geographical proximity. In particular, Korean companies will be the fastest to secure outsourcing contracts in areas such as Korean natural language processing NLP development, Korean data labeling for AI training, game QA, and app development. India's Infosys and Wipro are strong in English-based services, but they are at a competitive disadvantage compared to North Korea in the Korean and Japanese markets. Global AI companies require a large workforce for high-quality, multilingual data labeling, and North Korea's price competitiveness in this field is overwhelming. This is a cooperation project for AI and machine learning research and development. Current participants: internal North Korean research institutions, such as the Institute of Advanced Technology Development at Kim Il-sung University and the Information Technology Research Institute at Kim Chek University of Technology, are conducting their own AI research. Competitive entrants after denuclearization. Joint research partners from South Korea's KAIST, Postech, and Seoul National University. Academic exchanges with the U.S.'s MIT and Stanford and China's Baidu and Alibaba's Damo Academy are likely to enter early. Competitive landscape China will attempt to establish an AI research institute in the Eunjong Development Zone, the fastest immediately after denuclearization, and it has an advantage in the speed of initial entry due to existing linguistic and cultural affinities. However, given the overwhelmingly high capital and technological capabilities of U.S. and Korean AI companies, Western technology will lead in the medium term. From North Korea's perspective, the optimal strategy is a two-stage approach of first attracting Chinese AI companies to build infrastructure, and then bringing in South Korean and U.S. companies to raise the level of technology. Game and content development business. Current participants, domestic game developers in North Korea, are conducting domestic sales and unofficial overseas exports, and they unveiled various game and multimedia products at the 2019 Information Technology Achievement Exhibition. Post-denuclearization competitive entrants include South Korea's Nexon, Netmarble, and Krafton, China's Tencent and NetEase partners, and Japan's Nintendo and Sony Interactive indirect partnerships. Competitive landscape game development is the fastest-growing sector in IT outsourcing. North Korea already has extensive internal experience in game development, and the art outsourcing such as 2D and 3D graphics and animation and QA outsourcing from South Korean game companies are cooperation models that can be started immediately. The most realistic structure is for Korean game companies to partially relocate their outsourcing studios in China and Southeast Asia to North Korea. Cybersecurity and information security business. Current participants, cyber personnel under North Korea's State Security Ministry and Reconnaissance General Bureau, are currently operating for military purposes. The conversion of these capabilities to civilian use is the strongest potential asset of the Unjong Development Zone. Post-denuclearization competitive entrants include South Korea's OnLab, Igloo Security, and SK Shields, the U.S.'s Palo Alto Networks and CrowdStrike, and Israel's Checkpoint and CyberArk. Competitive landscape. Paradoxically, North Korea's cybersecurity workforce consists of world-class penetration testing experts with an attacker's perspective. If this capability is converted into legitimate white hat hacking, penetration testing services, and security vulnerability analysis after denuclearization, it will provide immediate competitiveness in the global cybersecurity market. While Korean and U.S. companies will approach this field with the utmost caution, it is also an area capable of generating the highest added value if an international verification system is established. This is a semiconductor back-end process, OSAT, and design cooperation project. Current participants, semiconductor research institutions in North Korea, such as the Pyongyang Integrated Circuit Factory and the Intersex Semiconductor Factory, exist, but the technology gap amounts to several decades. Competitive entrants after denuclearization, South Korea's Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix back-end process cooperation, Taiwan's ASE Group and Amkor OSAT, U.S. Intel's fabless design cooperation, and TSMC's indirect partnership, etc. Competitive landscape. Since the semiconductor front-end process realistically takes decades, the focus is initially on back-end processes such as packaging, testing, and inspection. Compared to the front-end process, the back-end process has lower technological entry barriers and is labor-intensive, making North Korea's precision workforce a strength. If Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix install outsourced back-end processing lines in the Eunjong area, it could become a new nodal point for the South Korea-North Korea semiconductor supply chain in the context of the IRA and CHIPS Act. Blockchain and fintech business. Current participants. North Korean IT personnel already possess the capability to develop decentralized applications, dApps, and smart contracts, and this has been verified in illicit activities. Pyongyang Kwangmyong Information Technology Company has independently developed card payment systems and ATM software. Post-denuclearization competitive entrants include South Korea's Kakao Pay, TOS, and Danal Singaporean blockchain startups, and Middle Eastern digital banks. Competitive landscape. North Korea's blockchain and smart contract development capabilities are already approaching global standards. If the demand for a return to SWIFT after denuclearization is combined with the establishment of digital financial infrastructure, a fintech startup ecosystem will form most rapidly within the Unjong Development Zone. North Korea offers various investment incentives. The establishment of a special global internet access zone is the core incentive for the Unjong Development Zone. Only within this zone will the global internet be fully open, VPNs permitted, and free access to cloud services allowed. This single measure alone will lead to immediate investment decisions by foreign IT companies. As part of the world's lowest IT workforce cost package, we offer software developer wages of $100, $200 per month, 2-3% of Korea's and 10-20% of India's levels, along with a 10-year social insurance exemption and a package contract that includes accommodation and meals. For complete corporate tax exemption, IT and high-tech companies within the Eunjong district are provided with a 0% corporate tax rate for 20 years, a low tax rate of 10% thereafter, and foreign exchange liberalization for overseas remittance profits. Under the application of the Special Act on the Protection of Intellectual Property Rights, a separate IP protection system is introduced for software, algorithms, and patents of foreign companies within the Eunjong area, following the judgment of international arbitration institutions rather than North Korean courts, as this is the area that IT companies are most sensitive about, guaranteeing this is a key prerequisite for investment decisions. As guarantees for industry-academia collaboration, we provide priority hiring for graduates of Kim Il-sung University and Kim Chek University of Technology, allow foreign companies to receive scholarships and participate in the curriculum, and legalize internship programs. Visa and residency liberalization provides indefinite residency for foreign experts and executives within the zone, permits for family members to reside together, and eases restrictions on movement within Pyongyang. A plan to pursue the best interests of North Korea is also necessary. Principle 1. Transitioning illegal overseas IT personnel into a legal outsourcing ecosystem. Legalizing the activities of overseas IT personnel, which currently generate hundreds of millions of dollars in illegal revenue annually, is the fastest way to generate IT foreign currency revenue after denuclearization. We will transform the Unjong Development Zone into a legal outsourcing center and sequentially repatriate existing personnel engaged in illegal overseas activities to convert them into legal service providers. In this process, negotiations with the U.S. and South Korean governments include ending cyber activities as part of the denuclearization package to secure additional economic compensation. Principle 2. Protect talent as a state asset but apply market prices. Set wages for IT personnel based on market prices, but introduce a structure in which the North Korean government collects 30–40% as tax and pays the remaining 60–70% to individuals. It maximizes national revenue while providing sufficient incentives for talent. It refers to the labor supply pricing method used in foreign joint ventures during the early stages of China's reform and opening up. Principle 3. Transform cybersecurity capabilities into legitimate global services and build trust step by step. It is difficult to gain the trust of the West by declaring all at once that North Korea will transform its hacking capabilities into good purposes. Instead, we first disclose a small white hat team and undergo a process of legally verifying our technical capabilities by participating in the International Cybersecurity Conference DF-CON. Through this, we design a North Korean cybersecurity enterprise certification system in collaboration with international organizations that Western companies can trust. Principle 4. Positioning as a new supplier in the data economy. The scarcer resource in the AI era is high-quality human-labeled data. We will establish an AI data factory in the Eunjong Development Zone, where North Korea's mathematics and engineering personnel will be responsible for generating AI training data, specifically text classification, image labeling, speech transcription, and Korean and multilingual data. Immediate foreign currency revenue will be possible through contracts with global AI data companies such as Scale AI, Data N, and Surge AI. Principle 5. Create a virtuous cycle by reinvesting IT export revenue into digital infrastructure. 20% of IT outsourcing revenue is reinvested in building a nationwide fiber optic network in North Korea, establishing data centers, and expanding 5G communication networks. This creates a virtuous cycle structure that attracts more IT companies as digital infrastructure expands. This is identical to the path China took in Shenzhen in the 1990s to build the current Huawei, Tencent, and DJI ecosystem through IT infrastructure investment. Principle 6. Design the IT special zone as a buffer zone for system opening. Access to the global internet, foreign media, and social media is permitted only within the Unjong Development Zone, while existing control systems are maintained outside the zone. This is a strategy to gradually absorb the impact of reform and opening while rapidly achieving economic results. Cultural contact that naturally occurs as foreign business people and North Korean IT personnel work in the same space provides an experience of gradual opening within the scope of control that the North Korean regime can maintain. Principle 7. Through intellectual property division contracts, we must go beyond simple personnel exports and secure a long-term source of technology, royalty income, by allowing North Korea to retain a certain share of patent rights generated through joint research. Principle 8. Secure cloud data sovereignty rather than leaving server infrastructure entirely to foreign countries. Establish joint data centers to acquire technology while maintaining data sovereignty. Principle 9. By introducing venture capital VC, we must create a capital technology virtuous cycle by having foreign capital invest in promising technology startups within North Korea rather than simply building factories. Principle 10. To prepare for disputes regarding technology leakage or breach of contract through the specialization of international arbitration, an international arbitration tribunal specializing in intellectual property must be established within the bank to provide legal guarantees that allow global companies to transfer technology with confidence. This is the potential revenue outlook for the Unjong High-tech Development Zone after denuclearization. The core strength of the IT and high-tech sectors is that initial investment costs are extremely low compared to manufacturing, and the speed of profit realization is fast. Under a conservative scenario, within 3 years of denuclearization, annual foreign currency revenue of $300 to $500 million is possible through 50 outsourcing contracts. With South Korean and Japanese IT companies and AI data labeling contracts, under the basic scenario, within 7 to 10 years, 200 foreign companies will move into the Eunjong Development Zone, and the combined annual revenue from software, games, cybersecurity, and data services is $1.5 to $2.5 billion. Under an optimistic scenario, it is possible to become an IT service hub on the level of Bangalore, India, with an annual revenue of over $5 billion within 15 years. This scenario envisions North Korea rapidly catching up to the trajectory of India's IT service industry, which grew from hundreds of thousands of dollars in 1990 to $20 billion in 2005. While the mineral, steel, and tourism sectors require a maturity period of 10 to 15 years following infrastructure investment, the IT sector is the fastest path to opening the North Korean economy, capable of realizing the first profits within 1 to 2 years after the denuclearization agreement. Next time, we will talk about the Raisin Economic and Trade Zone. Thank you.